Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay and welcome to The Ship Life. So we do have a ton of major topics to cover in today's video, one of which doesn't exactly pertain to cruising directly. However, it does regard the moment we're in during this pandemic. The topic I'm talking about is, of course, everything going on in the UK, as the UK British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has essentially eased all restrictions or most COVID restrictions over in that area. How will this affect cruising? We will talk about it in today's video. Some people are saying this does mark the end of the pandemic. I mean, that would be nice. However, before we talk about this topic, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because I know there's going to be a lot of mixed feelings and opinions when it comes to this topic. We also unfortunately have another cancellation for NCL, and then finally we do have to talk about the CDC, as they have issued another high travel advisory warning for places over in the Caribbean. So briefly, before we get started with this episode, I do apologize for everybody that is just here for the news. However, I know that most of you that watch my video have been knowing what's going on. And unfortunately, I have to let you guys know that on Monday, my dad did pass away Monday evening after my live stream. Now, obviously, I am extremely torn up. However, my dad loved what I did here on YouTube. He watched literally every single video that I made. And I know it's only been 2 days. However, I feel like I wouldn't be doing him justice if I didn't get back to this as soon as possible. Now, for those of you that don't know, unfortunately, about 2 years ago, actually it was more than that, a couple years ago, he was diagnosed with COPD. And then about 2 months ago, he was diagnosed with cancer. We didn't know what stage until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Come to find out that he had stage 4 terminal lung cancer, as well as pneumonia, and he also had blood clots. Now, I've been doing everything I could to take care of him for these past couple months, including making as many videos as possible for him to watch. That's why if you guys saw, I was putting out like 2 or 3 videos per day. And he did watch every one of them, because anytime a nurse or somebody would come talk to him, he would literally tell them that I'm famous, which obviously is not true. But if that's what he believes in his mind, I really appreciate it, because he would always tell people how proud of me that he was. But I don't want to stay too long on this, guys. I just want to put this out there. When it comes to this channel and everything that I do here, I want all of you to know that I am 100% for cruising and traveling, and as well as taking risk, calculated risk with your lives, because I believe that the experience is very, very important. My dad lived a very full life. I will also be doing the same. And just please, guys, just go ahead and keep moving. I think it's very important for everybody out there, even during this weird time during the pandemic, which, by the way, I am also thankful to say that my dad did pass away with his entire family around him, which I know during this COVID era that we're in, nobody exactly gets that luxury these days. So we had a nurse that was able to be nice enough to allow us to be able to be around my dad. He didn't suffer. He went easily and quickly, because I have a bunch of nurses in my family, registered nurses that are my sisters and my nieces, and they were able to make sure my dad was comfortable, and I really appreciated that. Same with the nurse that allowed my family to go in there, because, well, she could have lost her job, and I'm sure most of you guys know that, so obviously I'm not going to mention her name. I did, however, offer her a free cruise, but she told me she got seasick. I told her she can go on any line she wants, but either way, she did something that I will never, ever be able to forget, and I really appreciate it. And I just want to say that I appreciate every single one of you guys here on YouTube. You've literally changed my life, and my dad was proud of me because of what I built here, so I will continue to build upon this channel as well as other channels. And yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys. Now let's go ahead and get into the news. So yesterday on January 19th, in a shocking turn of events, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson came out and essentially said that they will be ending all or most restrictions going on over in the UK. Now, just to be clear, from my understanding, this is not the entirety of the United Kingdom. This is primarily going on over in England. However, this is a very big deal. Basically, what they're doing is going to be getting rid of the masking mandates and policies, so you don't have to wear a mask anywhere. They're also going to be saying that, yes, you still have to isolate, which is one thing they're going to keep intact, but as far as the vaccine passports, that will now be alleviated, even in large gatherings and crowds like concerts, stuff of that nature. And then they're also saying that the Omicron variant has peaked. So this is, like I said, very big news. There's so much going on, and a lot of people are trying to figure out what exactly is happening. Could this be the ultimate end of the pandemic? Now, I have mentioned before that if you go over to Africa, for example, where all this allegedly started, because we don't know for a fact because of, science and data, and of course they got to look at the history, all that other mumbo jumbo, but it has basically kind kind of somewhat disappeared over in Africa. So could this be a sign that, yes, as Boris Johnson is stating, the Omicron has peaked and we will now see it kind of dissipate and get ready to just kind of be gone altogether, which obviously would be nice. Now, Boris Johnson is also saying that when it comes to this entire situation and the people over in the UK, that they should be allowed to judge for themselves how they want to navigate throughout this pandemic moving forward, and that anybody that decides not to wear a mask, for example, should no longer be criminalized for it. Now, the UK had literally just implemented new health and safety protocols when it came to COVID back in December of 2021. This was to hopefully slow the spread of the Omicron variant. However, we all know how that went globally. It's still kind of spreading all over the place, unfortunately, and really most of the policies that were implemented didn't really stop it, whether we be on cruise ships or on land. That's something very important to note because everybody seems to be going after the cruise lines at random times. But either way, we are now seeing over in the UK that the residents over there, at least 90% of the people that are 60 and above, have all taken the booster shot. And they're also noting that things are kind of peaking as far as the numbers when it comes to the Omicron variant. Now, this does raise a very big question because there are strongholds that we obviously look to for the news and to kind of gauge what's going on in the world. At least I know I do. That would, of course, be the United States, your Canada, the more so western side of the European area, right? The EU, and then of course over in Australia, which we all know is kind of like a mess right now. There's so much going on. It's kind of hard to really gauge what's happening over in those particular areas, be it Canada and Australia. But either way, guys, I do want to bring it to you. Does this mean that maybe we are slowly seeing an end to this pandemic? Or could it be that maybe, a lot of people are saying Boris Johnson, he's in some hot water right now with his career because of parties and stuff like that took place even during the middle of a pandemic. But I do want to know from all of you, do you think this could mark potentially the slowdown or end of the pandemic? Honestly, I'm sure most of us probably hope so. I guess at this point we do have to kind of gauge and see what's going on in the United States as well. But typically when we see other places like the UK do something, other countries, other parts of the world and continents typically tend to follow right after that. But we will have to see. I would say probably the best advice that I could give as far as gauging how this is going to go. Look at what's going on in the UK. Yes, see if it spreads to the rest of the UK. Maybe it'll go to a place like Ireland, France, because France is pretty strict over there right now. As you guys know, my girlfriend Lauren is over there. She's French. So she keeps me updated. But either way, guys, just keep an eye on this stuff because I do believe all of this moving forward between now and the next coming weeks, the next couple months will be very interesting to watch as it progresses as far as the potential end or lack thereof of this pandemic. Let's see. Moving on to some unfortunate NCL news, we have yet another cancellation from NCL, which means that now 13 of their 17 ships within their entire fleet have now canceled. Now, the ship that has been added, unfortunately, will be the Pride of America. Now, this ship does sail over in the Hawaiian Islands, very popular cruise ship, also very expensive. It's also technically the only American cruise ship, or one of the few American cruise ships that has primarily only American workers on board those ships. Now, originally, they were set to resume operations in January. That then got pushed back to February 26th, and now it has been pushed back until April or around springtime. However, this does kind of line up with Frank Del Rio. He recently did come out and say that the entire fleet with NCL will be operational by springtime, which for a lot of people, they're kind of 50-50. Some think it's a stretch. Some think that NCL does know something that we don't. I believe that on the inside of it, we probably don't know everything that's going on with NCL. They could be planning for an explosive return. That's something I've been talking about for the past week or so. NCL could be just kind of retracting all of their sailings so they can reorganize, because for a lot of reasons, obviously they don't want the media hysteria should they have like an outbreak or a lot of cases or even a small number of cases on board their ships. They want everybody to get healthy. They also want to kind of keep an eye out on the pandemic because as we've seen with the Omicron variant, things are starting to either balance out or maybe wind down a little bit. So maybe by the time spring rolls around, we could be over this and the cruise lines can essentially do what they want, especially being that they don't have to worry about the CSO with the CDC, which I will talk about in a minute. Now, you do have cruise ships that have already headed over there, like the Carnival Miracle, the Grand Princess, and I believe it's called the World Residence at Sea or something like that. Basically, it's a ship that people can live on. 3 ships have now gone over to Hawaii, marks the big restart since March of 2020. So this is definitely some great news for the entire cruise ship industry. However, like I said with NCL, you do got to kind of wonder what they're planning. Do you guys think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I do believe NCL is kind of planning some type of explosive comeback in spring of 2022, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, finally, we go into our last topic for today's video. Of course, while you guys are hitting that like button if you're enjoying the video so far, as well as subscribing, that way you can get notified whenever I post more videos like this. And you're also helping me reach 100K, which I'm assuming will probably happen in the next month or so. Fingers crossed anyway. Anyway, guys, we do have to talk about the CDC. Now, we all know that the CSO, the conditional sailing order, has now expired, meaning the cruise lines can basically do what they want. However, you do have cruise lines like NCL that have opted to still follow the guidance of the CDC. But either way, we have the CDC now targeting, or they're at least putting out warnings, not against the cruise lines, but against the cruise destinations. You have cruise destinations like the Bahamas, St. Kitts, Grand Turk, St. Martin, just to name a few, that have now been put under the level 4 travel advisory warning. Now, level 4 travel advisory warning is the highest level possible. Basically, the CDC is kind of kindly telling you to not go there. However, you know, obviously they can't tell you directly, oh, you can't go there or else. So they're putting out their highest level and advising you, just don't go to this area because it is not safe. This is, of course, due to the Omicron spread even over in these Caribbean islands, and they don't want people to get sick. Now, I do understand everything that's going on, and I would never say that at this point in time with this announcement, the CDC is directly picking on the cruise lines anymore, because yes, they did, of course, highlight the warning travel possibilities over in the Caribbean areas, but they also targeted 22 other destinations. 22, why'd I put 2 up there? But 22 other destinations, including Australia. You know, I don't really think if anybody wants to go there right now, either way, with all the restrictions and everything going on over in that area. But you also have the fact of the matter that the CDC, when they come out with these travel warnings, things have been obviously really frustrating, really confusing, a lot of mixed signals. Because if you look at cruising along with the CDC, at the end of 2021, they came out and just put out the level 4 highest level warning possible for people to not cruise. And then they come around and say during a Senate hearing that the cruise lines are overperforming and they're doing a great job. And then after that, just a couple of days later, they then turn around and, of course, expire the CSO, the conditional sailing order, allowing cruise lines to do what they want. So are cruise lines dangerous? Are they not dangerous? It's just a very, very mixed signaling, guys. And honestly, if you're not confused with the CDC, personally, you must have a very sophisticated and understanding mind. Now, I'm not saying that the CDC is doing anything wrong. I'm just a little confused as far as what's going on here. Why would you let the cruise lines do what they want to do, and then you want to put another advisory out there to kind of say, yes, you can cruise, but yeah, I get it, but I don't get it, guys. Anyway, let me know, are you confused as I am? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your comments on all of this? Like I said, I want to be clear. I understand the CDC is doing what they can and what they need to do. However, the way they are approaching everything has been extremely confusing. And I think that anybody that disagrees with that, well, honestly, you like I said, you're more sophisticated than I am. And maybe I'm just too dumb, too layman to understand it. But either way, guys, like I said, let me know your thoughts. Let me get out of here. I appreciate every single one of you. I might have another video coming out in another couple hours, but we'll see. Just make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Of course, comment, share the video, and I'll see you guys later on. Take care.